motto, I don't have anything you don't already have. All teachers who speak true wisdom say this. It's not something for you to attain. It's for something for you to find, to discover, that's already there. That's the essential quality of what I call what you are versus who you are. The integration between the two is the integration between the head, the heart, and the body. The body in my teaching is the focus, because until it's brought into the body, it cannot be made lived. It cannot become real. It cannot become your 24-hour companion. So there's this process of meeting that in us, which in the mental plane or in the emotional plane or in the physical plane, that is still not capable of aligning with the awakening or with the sense of the current, of the possibility that you are being experienced. And of course, there's things you do. I recommend meditation. Everyone who comes to me, I recommend different degrees, but at least 45 minutes of meditation twice a day, sitting in silence and stillness. If we don't stop doing ego, we don't take a break from egoing, which is basically an activity, ego will win every time. It'll take over. If you're not asserting some effort on your part, especially initially, to align yourself with that inner awakening, it will not be able to stay. This is what I discovered. There are always exceptions. Some people have an extraordinary awakening and they just let go and it takes them down the current. But for most, it's this effortful collaboration between surrendering and effort, letting go and applying effort. This balance between the two. This is the art. Like I love to body surf. I would ride out to the waves when I lived in Hawaii and make the effort to get out. And then just when the wave was coming at the right time, to know to head towards shore so that the wave would pick me up and carry me the rest of the way. And there was a point when you got into that groove. And it was just this ride that was taking you. So this is what it is. The spiritual path is the same thing. We all are subject to cycles. Cycles of time. Cycles of energy. In the Hindu tradition, these cycles are called gunas. Some of you perhaps have heard of the term guna. The guna is the 3 energy waves of existence. They're basically moods. And these moods cycle in a very steady way, ascending spontaneously in different times of our day, different times of the month, different times of the year, and different phases in our life. So there are, among these waves is a wave that will take us to the shore. This is the sweet zone of the body surfer. There's the wave that requires effort. And there's a wave that makes us have to wake up to that which doesn't even want to go to the beach. To come out of the inertia of our human embodiment. These are sattva, rajas, and tamas. So when the Bhagavad Gita, which is the book I use for a reference of my teaching, speaks a great deal about the necessity of being able to recognize the power of these gunas in terms of affecting our perception of existence. Because they are each a veil, each of its own sort. So learning to ride the waves is learning to recognize that there is a current that's already going on, so that at different times in our lives, it'll be easier to awaken, easier to make progress, easier to meditate, easier to stay connected to the awakening within us. We are clearer, more able to see what's obscuring us. And that as soon as we make progress along that wave, it will convert into action, to do something with what we have awakened to do something with the energy that has come to us through this spontaneous process of aligning. So it's like coming to the beach after riding a good wave and standing up and saying, yeah, great. So the rajas is the expression of this learning to move into alignment. Once we exhaust that energy, then we end up going into tamas. We drain the energy and we go back into a period of habitual patterns of thinking and feeling. And then when that gets to the bottom, when we reach the trough of the tamas phase, that creates a pressure, a dissatisfaction, a misery that drives us to the next cycle of sattva. These three energy waves, sattva, rajas, and tamas, pretty much determines our mood. It means when we're in rajas, we are simply looking for something to do. When rajas comes, we want to do something. When tamas comes, we want to indulge in something. We want to go to sleep. We want to go into our familiar patterns. And when sattva comes, all we want is happiness and knowledge. So each carries its own characteristic. So the nature of the mood is basically when the guna comes, you start feeling a certain energy. And you will find something when the energy comes, let's say tamas, rajas, tamas, to be irritated with. You're already in the guna of energy that would have you be irritated. It's already shaping your consciousness. It's the lens that starts coding the view of your world and yourself. And you will find something in the outer world that matches your mood. And you will assign the cause of your mood to that thing in the outer world. Something your husband said, something you heard on the phone, somebody who's sitting next to you. And we are all unwittingly dancing to these energy rhythms unconsciously, thinking that it has something to do with our outer life. Has to do with what we think about things, has to do with what we feel about things, has to do with how comfortable we are or how uncomfortable we are. So this is just a pointing to one body of knowledge that can begin to align you with recognizing the right information of the predicament you find yourself in. If you don't understand the basic structure of what it is to be a human being, what is it that binds us, what keeps us bound, what keeps us obscured, what keeps us distracted, then you cannot come out. You have to have enough discrimination, enough right information.